This conference will now be recorded.
Hope you are able to see my screen.
Not at Karthik.
No? Okay. Please confirm if you can see.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. Yeah, today's session we will make use of, I hope you all get the training materials, right? From
Yes,
Microsoft.
yes, yes. We
Okay. So it includes all the standard reference documents, enhancement guides, and the material which we used in our training, and the running notes as well, including the UI modeling recording in that. Yeah.
Karthik, just one thing. Is it good time? I'll ask.
Yeah, please.
Karthik, there is a we was working in S4 upgradation project where after upgrade we have seen that in MDG screen the some of the codes some of the in UI modeling the fields naming has been changed which we was using previously.
Here the
This
attribute
conference
panel
will
is
now
pending on
be
the right hand
recorded.
side. And the feeder class settings. Again, we need to select the same UABB. Go to configure UABB. Configure UABB. So we used to get the general settings on the top top side where we get the
Yes.
feeder class name, and edit feeder class parameters. So the two views, the general settings views and the attribute panel views, has been clipped and given on the right hand side.
Okay, correct.
The entire page was used to just to show to give you the preview page.
Review page.
The general settings and the attribute panel settings has been clipped and given on the right hand side.
Right hand side.
Still you will see the same feeder class parameters, general settings, or sometimes you would like to see attributes. These are the attributes of that UIBB. Concept is same. Even the fields are also same. It's just the UI, the position of the fields has been changed on the left and right hand side.
Okay.
And this theme is also called as a Blaze theme.
List.
That's where you're seeing this theme.
Okay.
Okay, these themes also can be changed across the application wise. The theme which we were using is the bronze theme. We call it as bronze theme.
Okay.
Corbu bronze. That's what the standard theme given by SAP till that versions. From MDG, they are giving Blaze as a standard default theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Don't
So
mess. Yeah.
no. So here, if we if project is specific, any name I need to like in the place of name they have written like uh, customer name or something. So if I change here, it will impact into screen level, correct?
Correct. Correct.
But the same they are looking for the ECC side also. So in that it will not reflect. So we have to customize that one, correct? In that case,
See, in that case, you don't customize the label on MDG and you don't customize the label on ECC.
correct.
Okay, you will just change the label of the standard field.
Okay, okay. Change the label of this. Okay, fine. Then I'll get.
There is a standard data element, right? The standard data element. If you
Okay. In
just
that,
change the, you mean to say in BPT code you wanted a changes?
yes.
Okay, so let me go to BPT code, and here you have one customer. Here it is saying as name, right? Yeah, I
Name.
have to
Correct.
convert this as a customer name.
Correct.
Correct.
No, I understand that Karthik, like you are telling as per data element, but the data name get changed for everywhere where this name will be, this data element will be captured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in that level, I was like it should not only for this screen only they are looking to the get name would get to be changed. Okay, I'll just check. So there is
Only
no
for
other
this.
way. Like
No, no,
this
there
is the
are.
process.
Yeah, I mean, this is the process where you want to generalize the label changes.
Okay,
But if you want to specifically do only this for two screens, one is for the screen and another is for your MDG application, then
correct.
you have to do enhancement, UI enhancement in MDG.
Okay.
Okay, and here you go to the specific screen. The screen is
Uh,
1200.
there we can do that.
Here you
Yes.
can relabel it.
Yes.
But this is the standard one. Okay, we need to
Correct.
understand that this is a standard label. Changing this might require a access.
Access.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are other ways also. Maybe you can, just
Yeah,
cross check.
yeah, sure. Sure, Karthik. Thanks. Thanks for clearing this out.
Hello,
Yeah, hello.
hello, Karthik.
Yes,
Hello,
Sandeep.
I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. So one thing I have doubt. So how is the language specific? Because if this is MDG used for Europe or Arabian or any other country, in general above, you have a language specific text. Okay. So in MDG, how you can handle this one? Country
Uh,
specific text. It will be.
can you give me an example?
Example like if user login in some other country, okay, that text should be come according to his login language.
Yeah, it comes same. That is, not nature of MDG application, right? It's the nature of SAP. The moment you log in into a different language, your entire application will convert into that language. It
That is
might be in
so no
MD.
need of
It might.
any extra take care of that for MDG only. Okay.
No, no, no. It's no additional care. You take any module of SAP, you say, MM or yeah, sorry, TM or HCM or Ariba or any other solutions. The moment you
Yes.
log in into other language, automatically you'll get those language related text on your UI.
That's why I'm confirmed that MDG also same way working. Okay.
Same way, correct. All you need to
Okay.
do
Thanks.
is your language
Uh,
pack has to be installed. By default, SAP
okay.
will provide you German and English language for all the data elements.
Okay.
But if you want to see that in Russia, there is a concept called the language supplements. Again,
Okay.
I'm not talking this is part of MDG. I'm talking from a
Okay.
general language um,
Okay.
uh, supporting, language implementation perspective.
Mhm.
So there you can purchase the languages from SAP. They will sell the language translations.
Yes. Yes.
Once you once you purchase those support pack and you install it, automatically your application can be viewed in that specific language. If you don't want to purchase, then you need to maintain by yourself those translations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Karthik. Okay.
Karthik, Srinivas here. So, in the case of data migration, uh, for MDG perspective, how to handle it? Like, for example, in a normal case, what we will do? We'll do using LSMW or migration cockpit. Directly, we'll take the data from non-SAP system and we'll cleanse it in a SAP digested format and we'll update into SAP.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same manner, so what are all the other precautions we need to take for the case of MDG for data migration? If you have done data migration for MDG system, so what are all the uh, special customizations? Is there any other things to be involved to get the data loaded in the MDG system?
Okay. So whatever the legacy techniques which you are using, the same techniques you can also still use in MDG conversion project as well. Okay. So you can use.
Or else you can give me an example, like customer master data, for
I'll take,
example, we are
I'll,
loading.
I'll take an example. You have LSMW, right? And you have ETL tools,
Yes,
and you have
migration cockpit.
migration cockpit, you have bots tools, you have iDocs. These are the general techniques which we use, or there is some activity which even basis can also do.
Yeah, even we'll use SLT also, system landscape transformations in HANA if it is a HANA system.
Yeah. So even basis also, if you can tell the basis people that I need this table copy, they'll give the complete table copy as a dump.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these techniques are still applicable in MDG. I mean, I'm not saying it as an MDG because this is moving the table data from one system to an S4 HANA system where there is no MDG involved. You are trying to move the data from customer to, I don't take first customer as an example. I just take material from material which is residing in Mara table from EHP5 to material which has to load in Mara table which is on S4 HANA 1909. Right? You can still use all these techniques. Yes, you might hear somewhere that LS and Ws might not actually work in S4 HANA. One fact what we need to understand is SAP did not make LS and W supporting activities, or LS and W has been marked as absolute. SAP never said that. SAP is recommending other techniques to be followed. But
Yeah.
still, LS and W, if people are familiar with LS and W, still they can go ahead with that. It's just people who are making a different perspective that LS and W will not work in S4HANA. No, it is not a fact. Just still we are using the same and it works absolutely fine as you are seeing that in a previous non S4HANA systems.
Okay.
All these
Yeah.
techniques I'm saying, yeah,
When
moving from.
SAP meeting has conducted, they are telling that LSMW don't use LSMW. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. See, it's not like LSN don't use it. They're trying to promote, the latest tools.
Migration cockpit they are promoting. Yeah.
Yeah, migration cockpit. Now, when you are saying customer will come to S4 HANA and for this, especially for this, we should not use any directed table copy. Example, an ETL tool. It is directly from table to table, right?
Yeah.
You take customer table data and you push that into a customer table data in different system. We should not use ETL for this because in S4 HANA, all the customers should be converted into business partners. So this conversion will happen if the BAPIs are being called. This can be automatically handled if BAPIs are called while loading customers. Else, there is a separate activity where you need to run a program. That program will actually create the business partners based on the customers.
Okay. What is the program name?
So, Karthik, that program is standard on or custom you have to?
Standard.
Standard program, okay.
So, Karthik, just one query. So SAP is delimiting LSMW and they are migrating to migration cockpit in that case.
Right now, they never said it that they are stopping a support for LSMW. They are just
Okay.
promoting migration cockpits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not aware. Like you said that. Yes, I saw that migration cockpit. Okay, fine.
So for this S4 HANA, you can use bots or you can use iDocs or you can use LSMWs. You can use migration cockpit or you can still use SLT. But a table copy and ETL are the two options which are not preferred for this. Only for customers. Customers or vendors. Both are same.
Anyway, Karthik, just to interrupt. Anyway, if you are handling customer or vendor as per HANA system, it is kind of a business partner only directly. So there is no special attention need to be given for the MDG related data, right? So, whether it is MDG related data or normal data, both the cases, the treatment will be same, right?
Yeah, the same. See, right now we are not talking anything related to MDG here, if you
Yeah,
notice.
yeah, okay.
We are saying this is mandatory because S4 HANA business partner concept is mandate.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
If we are doing this conversion from, say, EHP 5 to EHP 8, which is non S4 HANA, okay,
Okay,
then this point is irrelevant because their BP is not mandatory.
okay,
But if you are upgrading to S4 HANA, then business partner is mandatory, where this step is on prerequisite.
okay,
That's why initially I took material as a example, which does not have any prerequisites.
okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're extending, right? My question is, what is the MDG related precautions, special precautions needed to be taken while migrating the data? In the case of generic approach, function consultant will customize the configuration, whatever is required. For example, company code to do the validations and all. So in this case, for example, we have already implemented MDG for those materials or customers. So in that case, it will again go into a approval process and mm, the once the approval process is completed, then only this data will be migrated. How it will, for example, ECC system is there. Against to ECC, we have created a S4 HANA instance. So the thing is, you are loading the data into ECC system, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So how it can be handled? And for example, if you wanted to load the data directly into HANA system, so is it a
I think
like
this
a
point,
normal?
this point I think we have discussed very elaborately, right? So there are various things when you are doing a migration. You just don't take the data as a dump and you do it, correct?
Yeah,
So let's say you have ECC system. What is the first step of this? Data health check.
Karthik,
Right?
sorry to interrupt. One question that migration is that initial load comes under data migration.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
data health check, and data mapping between ECC and S4 HANA tables. You extract, you standardize with then load. Right? These are the steps which would happen in a migration project. Because record by record governance cannot be achieved. All the existing data has to be first identified what is the data quality available in the system. Once they do say 80% of best records or 90% of best records, then they'll move it. But trust me, as per the industry rules, every migration, let's say they're going for 80 or 90%, if it is a migration from one version to another version, they will do the cleansing exercise for sure. Because of the version matches happen, because of the version differences are there might be some implicit complications which they would never understand in the data health check. They would understand that when they're mapping the structural differences. For that reason, if it is a version mapping, if it is an upgradation project, they will do the data health check and they'll extract the data, they'll standardize the data and cleanse it, and then it will be given to the data migration team of S4 HANA, and with the discussions of the functional consultants and the migration team, they will identify the potential differences between the field differences or the structural differences, and then they'll load the data into S4 HANA. And in this, we cannot expect a record by record governance approval process, which will delay the project, and that is not an ideal way to do it.
Okay. So my question is here, once the data migration has been completely done, so after point of then MDG also implemented. So some extra data, some delta data is still pending.
I understand. So I understood your point. Let's say your data migration is happening on, say you took the snapshot of October. You extracted the data till October 31st. Okay, and this data you have cleansed it. And what is the date now? February 2nd. So from October 31st to February 2nd, there is some delta data which is being created, right? This data is not part of the data health check or extraction or standardizing or loading. After February 2nd, again this volume of data will be identified, gathered, and loaded by the data migration team as a delta information, as a delta gap. Now, to answer your question, again, let's say still you got say 300 or 400 materials which has to be loaded into MDG application. Which has to be loaded into S4 HANA. Now the option is with you whether that records would require a governance process or they can directly load into S4 HANA system. For you, the objective was to load the data into S4 HANA system, right? When we are Loading the data, do we need governance for those records or not, is a decision which we have to take. Not we as a, I mean, from the client side, client has to take. If they said that governance is required, then you will do file upload or DIF. Any one option you can choose. Else you can go to the any of these techniques which are available on a fast priority.
So those specific records, again, we need to apply the all those data governance rules. Yeah. So we need to separate those data in a way that MDG system should not, MDG rules should not apply on those delta
See,
records. That's all.
if you want to see that MDG rules should not apply to those delta records, then why do we need MDG tools for that?
So, for example, those records, delta records, may not have the conditions followed. So, every record it will validate and it will go into the approval process, right? That's what my question.
Right. So that's where I'm saying, no,
Mm.
someone has to do a investigation or cross verification that those records has to be go for governance or not. Now, if you are saying those delta records are missing some of the checks or some of the field values, right? Those delta records are not part of your cleansing, not standardizing. So that means those delta records are missing some information where the rest of the records are not missing.
Yeah.
So obviously this is the right time to intimate the business users that this records has some missing information and that can be purgeable via MDG. So you have to go with MDG application.
Yeah, but his mailbox will be with big Q. He has to go for approval. That's what.
Not like a
Again, it
big
is
queue,
a.
right? It's only one CR. He'll get only one change request.
Okay.
An initial load, it takes multiple records into one CR.
Oh, okay. I got now. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking that every material will go in a validation process. Then, yeah. Okay.
Only one thing is, let's say you have 100 materials.
Mm.
If the CR is rejected, 100 materials will reject.
Yeah, that is important point. Yeah, all the materials will be rejected. Yeah. Thanks.
Karthik, if they are not going with MDG, DIF, MDG, so how it will be possible instead of DIF file upload?
The options, which I was discussing here.
Oh, okay. These are the options they should use, no?
Yeah,
It will be directly go to the S/4HANA database, right?
correct.
Okay, got it. So one more question, Karthik. In interview, they ask in which case you are go for key value mapping, and in which case you go for key mapping. I can't got exact answer till now.
Okay. Can anyone answer that?
They telling like how you decide in which whether you go for key mapping or value mapping. So I can't give the answer exact.
Karthik, what I remember that value mapping is related to customizing objects.
No, they want some real-time example. How they want some means how you give some examples like that.
Okay, so shall we do one thing? I wanted
Yeah.
to come with a few things which you have requested. Maybe
Yes.
then I'll take the
Okay.
interview questions.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
because the ask was to explain the workflow related badges and walk through some of the enhancements which we can do from our documents perspective. So I'll just quickly do that and then I'll take up your questions. And I need to show some sample resumes as well.
Okay, thank you.
So there are some service names where you can give any name as a service. Right? It's a free text. This service name is used in your BRF Plus application to call these badges. In BRF Plus application, in single validation table, if you give a service name here in dynamic agent selection service, remember this is in a single validation table. If you give the service name here, that will call the baddie related to dynamic selection of agent in a rule-based workflow. If you give a service name here with merge type B means baddie, it will trigger the handling of parallel results in rule-based workflow. In
So
non-user
Karthik, in
agent,
one
yes,
question. So in that service name can give in both table, okay, non-user decision table also.
no, I repeat, this is only in single validation table. Here you have a column, that's why you can give the service name.
Okay, okay.
Okay, in user agent decision table, you don't have this column. Now, in non-user agent decision table, you have a column called service name. This you will give for the process pattern only 02, only for 02. Because 02 is a process pattern which will call the system method. If you remember our discussions related to workflows, 02 is a process pattern which will call the sync method, or we will say it as a call of system method. Okay, and rule context prepare is a baddie which will trigger if the service name is maintained in a BRF Plus application. It has to be maintained in a BRF Plus application. Here you need to maintain the service name. Only then it will call. Okay, I just don't want to give this as of now. Now this is the signal validation table. Let me open the workflow details for it. Just a moment. So this is the workflow which we are talking about, right? So here is the requester submits it. It goes to the reviewer. From there is a dummy step which will split the work items into two. That means the reviewer submits it. It will be a background. Reviewer submits it. It will trigger a work item to finance approver, and it will trigger a work item to purchase approver. Okay. Now I'm taking a real-time scenario. You can also take it as a reference. There is a business partner central data and business partner company code data, business partner purchasing data. Now, if the purchasing data, let's say the payment terms, are being changed, a workflow should trigger only to these people, only to the purchasing team. If company code data, example, reconciliation data is being changed, it should trigger the work item to only the company code people. But if the central data, example, the name of a customer or email, contact email is being changed, because the name or the contact information is very sensitive for both finance and purchasing team. This is where they can communicate with the people. Phone number, right? Website, other sensitive fields of the business partner are changing, then it would require an approval for two different departments. And this is one typical example where the finance has two level of approval process, but purchase has only one level. Right? So once the finance approver 2 and purchase approver 1, both of them approves a customer or a vendor or a business partner. If both of them approves, then it will go for an activation. If any one of the person rejects, then it will go for rollback. If any one person says send for revision, then it will go for resubmission, directly back to resubmission. If the resubmission person, he will reject it, it will roll back and complete the workflow. But if the resubmission step, he again resubmits, it will go back to the reviewer. Okay. Now, 01 is a step which will start when FA2 and PA1 both of them approves it. After that, the completion step is triggered. Then only this step has to trigger. So this step triggering part is part of parallel merge BADI. Once both of them completes, automatically this BADI will trigger. And when the BADI triggers, in the BADI we will write a logic to start a new step called 01. In this, we have given a service name ZSD parallel merge. The service name, we are sending it from single value district table, ZSD parallel merge. When we are passing this service name, wherever we would like to split, at the 15th step, we would like to split, right? So before you split, when you are calling that 15th step, after 10th, when you are calling that 15th step, then you need to tell to the system you are implementing parallel merge. So when you are splitting the work item at that particular instance, at that time only you need to tell when you need to club it. This is one of the key element. If someone would like to ask you any interview question there, then they will ask, when do you call this merge type? BADI. Now in this implementation, here there is a logic. does this logic says? If the step is equals to 31 or 22, 31 or 22. If the step equals to 31 or 22, if action equals to 4, reject, or if action equals to 6, send for revision, else it is approved. If action equals to 4, reject. That means either 21 or 30. If both of them executed an action called reject, then it should go back to rollback. If they executed 6, any one of the person, if they executed 6, it has to go for send for revision. Else it is approved. And we are saying you should start with the new step. The new step is what? 0, 1. 0, 1 is a new burn step. Here we are passing, it should start with 0, 1. Any questions on this BADI implementation?
No, Karthik. I'm good.
Okay. No.
Karthik, just one thing, like when we are creating a workflow, like how you have designed in that way only we have to present first. Like yes, it's clear each and every steps. Like for 30 steps we need to do. Yes, this one,
Mm-hmm.
the workflow diagram.
Yes, this is my way of doing it.
No, I like this way. Like it's clear every step what we are needs to do.
Correct. So if you're able to manage a workflow on an Excel
Mhm.
or on a paper, before you configure that in the system and you know exactly at which step what actions can be performed, then it is easy for us to configure a workflow.
Yes.
See, I can give the steps here, step numbers in a sequence.
Correct.
20, 21, 20, 23, let's say 23, 25. I can give that in a sequence. If you directly
Correct.
start giving some numberings in directly in a while designing, the numbers also won't match. Even the condition areas as well.
Yes. That's why.
Hello, Karthik. My question is, how you know you are going for body implementation? Because it can be handled by only BRF customizing.
This one, this
For
parallel
this
workflow
ship,
template,
हाँ.
yes, there is no standard static workflow template available given by SAP for this. So I went for BRF. And in BRF,
हाँ.
if you wanted to implement parallel, this is the only way what you can do.
Okay.
To implement parallel workflow, you need to definitely implement two baddies. One, parallel merge, another system call.
Another second one is system
System call baddie.
or system column. Okay.
Yeah. So the one which I'm showing here, another one, system call. This baddie has to be implemented, but there is no logic expected inside it. It's just the body has to be implemented.
So which one is calling fast? That parallel merge body is calling fast. Okay.
No, first system call will trigger.
Okay.
See, there is no logic expected inside this.
Mhm.
Okay, but I have just written some logic because for you to showcase how an email can be sent. This logic is just to send an email, but nothing related to parallel workflow. Even I can comment this as well. But I just want to put this inside this logic because at every step when it is triggering, you will get an email. Now, what did I do? In this body, every time I'll get a CR number. So there is an API change request API. You pass the CR number, it will give you the instance of CR, and then you say read change request. It will give the change request complete details. Example, that would be a similar structure of USMD 120C. What is the CR type, status, priority, reasons, what is the change log of a CR, all those details from USMD 120C table. We're just preparing a body, email recipient, and subject of an email. And I'm sure you will go back and refer the document which I have shared. There are various ways that you can send an email. So you can see that in our workflow enhancements which I have shared to you. Right? Just a moment. Let me. Now let me open a scenario and see how it works. I'm selecting parallel. For the CR tab, there is a parallel overflow configured. I'm just changing some name here and submit the workflow. Now what happened? Submission step has been completed and it triggers the workflow. Workflow is currently being processed. After submit, it should go to review. So I got for the review because myself is configured the review. I'm saying complete review now. So what happens if I say complete review? It will trigger the dummy step, right? So when it triggers a dummy step, we also return an email logic inside the dummy step related body. So I'll say complete review. It says workflow is currently being executed. Yeah, it's executed. Now we should go back and see in SOST if there is any email. Triggered now. Yeah, an email. No, is it the same email? Two 2912. Is here number. No, the email did not trigger. Let's see when it is getting triggered. Create object.
Karthik, we can check SBWP, na, that email is come or is it different? SBWP?
SBWP is a SAP internal mailbox, but
Okay,
here we are
okay.
sending that workflow.
But here also we can check.
Now, here, if it is sent outside successfully from that step, then you'll get it here. That SOST is an outbox, similar like sent we have in email.
Okay.
That's fine. The body is triggered. That's where we are seeing the step has been completed. Now, if you notice, I am having a work item which will give me two tasks because it has been split into two. So I myself configured in both the levels. That's why I'm saying 2. Else I would have directly see some actions. Approve, reject, reason. Now, let's say this is a work item ID, right? Called synchronous method. This has been executed. Now this is something troubleshooting where my email ID, I did not get my email. Even though the logic is there, I did not get my email. So what do? I'll go to SWIAT code. There, I'll give this work item ID 1777300. 1777300. I got a task 608-07949, which is TS. So there is a T code PFTC.
PFTC.
I said task 7949. I'll display this. I'll go to this class method, call sync method, and I execute that instance and give the number here. What is this work item number? 1777. I'll create an instance. Then I have a method here to execute, call sync method. I'll give the CR number. What is the CR number? 2912. 2912. I need to give the service name. What is the service name? Call sync method binding. Then I'll start debugging from here. It got the instance. It got the email. It has been instantiated. It sent. It was sent actually. But only one issue what I'm seeing is there is no log related statement activated. This is not actually sending the work item into SOST. I'll create one more instance. Now this time it should work. CR number 2912. It says message cannot currently be transferred to SMTP due to connection error. Done. Now if you go to SOST, you will see the error 2912. So this is one way. You can also say, this is how you will troubleshoot the errors in the workflow. Now let me go back to the application and try to approve the work item. So this is my first approve. So how many approves I need to do to reach to a completion step? I mean to activate. This is
2
an
approve.
activation step,
3 approve.
right? I need to do 3 approvals, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Let's count the total approvals. 1. Okay, there is some data expected. 1 is done, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. Three approvals completed. To 9.2. Let me see how many steps have completed. I'll open the workflow log. Three approvals have completed. I'll open the background step. Activation change request completed. It says, what does it say? status is activation failed. That is the status which this work item got. I mean, which the seer has got. Activation failed. So the moment we approved, it went for the activation. If the activation was not successful, we completed the workflow by setting the status called activation failed. If it was successful, then it says activation successful.
But why that activation failed? That merge body is not called or what?
No, the merge baddie is called. The baddie is called. That's where it triggered the step called 01 and it went for activation.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And in the activation, if you look at the workflow, if it is equals to 31, we completed the workflow 5. Activation successful. If it is not equals to 31 also, we completed the workflow by saying activation failed. Now why there is an activation failed? Jurisdiction code is not defined. That is the error message. Due to this, the activation was failed. Now, based on this, you will go to ECC and or you will report it to the functional consultant saying, the jurisdiction rule is missing.
Karthik, can you go back that selection screen for the screen? One back screen. In upper, how you select that object? Which one you have to select? In upper, okay. You select
See,
some
object
FD.
always FMDM is a master data governance object.
So for all module, whether it is MMS,
No. I'm saying, okay, yeah. For all
Kar-
modules in MDG, FMDM is object.
okay.
and subject
Okay.
Karthik,
and subject.
if we remove this, then only we can able to get that it will come. You was knowing this object and sub object, then only you was able to directly reach there. If you remove this,
Okay,
then also it will come as per the time.
but
Right.
how you choose that which one will be selected for every scenario? It will be same or how you choose?
See, in activation, change request, you have change request related sub object.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay,
When you are doing validation, you have validation related object. Upload,
okay,
upload object.
okay.
You need to
These
understand
are
only FMDM is an object.
that is common for every module. That object name.
Correct.
Okay,
Now, the same block you can see here from directly from the object itself. Right? It is activation field. You have validation log. You open this, you will see the same log here. Right? It's not even mandatory for us to go and see what is the object and sub-object. It's good to have information to know them.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can also see the same log from here.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is regarding the parallel workflows or workflow troubleshooting or validations, you can say. You would like to address any specific questions here?
Yeah. Face one question. What is comparison of BRF plus table? I can't even if why use I don't know. Why you
Comparison
comparison of BRF plus table?
with what?
No, I don't know that much. But why did this? What is the? I
No,
don't know
from where
anything.
you are asking this question?
One telephonic, they ask, have you used any comparison of BRF plus table like that?
Comparison. Okay, I'm not aware of it. Maybe the context might be different, but there is no
Okay.
comparison of BRF plus table.
Yes, even Karthik, I also feel that the context will be something different.
Okay.
So immunity site is not related to MDG.
No, it's not. I'm saying this is not even related to BRF plus. In BRF plus itself, there is no concept of comparing the tables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Any other questions you have? Any scenario you would like to understand from this workflow? See, this is the second workflow which you can design.
Yes, Karthik.
This also looks almost same, but every step we have an email notification.
Most of the cases, this email notification would be into the SOST mailbox only, right, Karthik?
It will be
So
always in
external.
SVST. Always in SVST.
Oh,
That's like the sent in our Gmail.
okay.
If you are not seeing it, it would have gone already.
Not seeing means in SOST.
If yeah,
Okay. But
because
very
this
rare
is
cases will send the approval mails through external like Fiori application.
No, Karthik, if it will go, it will be here only. This will be log of all sending mails. If it
yeah,
will go outside of the system, then it will be green or yellow.
yeah. So it will be green,
Yes,
and it will actually immediately they will log the successful records, right?
correct.
You don't see them here.
Yes, you have to click the transmitted. Then only you will get the green one, which has been gone out of the system.
Yeah. True. So we'll select this and do refresh, then we'll get it here.
Yes.
Karthik, one more question. That is in which scenario they ask you are adding the field in BRF plus. I just want to know in
Yeah.
just one scenario. If I'm not telling every step you explain, just they ask like in which scenario you add extra field in BRF plus.
Okay. So various use cases for it. Okay. There are a lot many use cases. Now, let's say in this example, if the vendor country belongs to an US region or UK region or Indian region, likewise there would be some regions, right? If the vendor who is created in a specific region and if the approval board is different, vendors who are being created in USA, then the approval process is different, and the vendors who are created in UK, the approval process is different.
Yes, yes.
How do we manage it? That's where you will add a field here. In user agent decision table, not in user agent, in single value decision table, you will add one more column here. Say country.
Okay.
And if the submission is happening for that country USA, then your next step will be different. The next step will be different here. The condition alias is different. Right? So your next step you are able to segregate based on the country. Then obviously you can build two workflow templates.
Okay.
Now for that what you
So in
need to
that
do,
case,
you just need to go to trigger functions, assign rule sets, so here you will add new context. These steps will be there. You'll add a new context here, and then you'll give the service name here. I told you the service name for context body will be given in BRF plus application. This body, the service name you will give in a BRF plus application. And for this body, how to do the coding, always standard will have an implementation. They will give this logic. We need to understand this logic, how it works. So, just a moment, guys. I would also log in with a different PC because my battery is low now. Just a moment. Yeah. So based on the change request, the CR number, how do we read the data from a material master is been given in this logic. Now this logic you will find in every system. This is kind of the sample example implementation delivered by SAP. So what they'll do is they'll create an instance of data model. This is Once they got an instance, they will pass the CR number to the structure. This is a selection. It's like a where condition for us. This is nothing but an abstract layer. We discuss this layer called USMD model EXT, one of the abstract layer which we discussed. Now to show you that abstract layer, CL USMD model EXT. What did we say? This is the only way for us to access the database, right? So using this layer, we are reading the database value. We are passing the CR number. From the CR number, we are getting the object list. We are getting the data into the relevant structures. Here we are preparing the internal table structures. And by executing this method, we'll get the data. This is where we are getting the material data. Once we get the material data, this is get element ID. This is a name. Here they are giving labor. This is a name which is similar to the name which you will be giving in a BRF Plus application. That would be the field name. It might be a previous action, or it might be the previous step ID or the change request. So you can see all these numbers. See, for every column, there will be an ID which BRF Plus application will generate by default. Similarly, when you add country or when you add labor, it will generate an ID. This is an ID which we are trying to get it here in the program. You pass the name and you pass the CR type, automatically it will get the BRF Plus ID. Once we get an ID, then we will pass an actual value. What is the labor value? What is the country value? Is it US or is it UK? What is it exactly? And you will set it to ET underscore rule context underscore value. So this way you will pass values from your program to your BRF Plus application. Same thing you can see in this. implementation in this document. They would like to add labor. They'll set a service name. They'll do the implementation prepare rule, the same implementation which we have discussed about. And here for the filter, we'll give the service name. In the CR, in the BRFS application, you go and create an object and name the object name as labor. You can give data type to it. And here you will select whether this is on the left hand side here. Here exactly on the left hand side, where you would like to enhance it. Is it single validation table, user agent or non-user agentation table? Where you would like to enhance the custom field. That table you will select and you will say insert column. The field will automatically add up to the decision table.
So in that case, you have to enhance single user decision table only.
No, that's what I'm saying. It can be anything. You can take single
Okay.
validation table or user agent. So in this example, they have taken user agentation table. Condition alias, laboratory and user agent group number, step type and user agent type. So in my example, what I was saying, you can take single validation table. Based on the country, you would like to split the workflow process completely. But here what they are doing, based on the labor, they are not splitting the workflow process, but they are just splitting the uses.
No, okay. That's why they use user agent decision table. Enhance.
Exactly. They're just splitting the uses, but not the approval process.
Okay, okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just make my another user as presenter.
Karthik, can you copy that link in the chat window? It's there also.
Which link?
That extensions you have explained, right?
That I shared you, right? You got it, right?
Yeah, it is there, yeah. But I am copying on the fly whatever you are sharing in sequence.
Okay. You're asking the link?
Yeah, just now, yeah. No, not an issue. Leave it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now let me open the other part of enhancements and show you how it works. Now there are various enhancements, that you can go with. I just want to take one example. How do you enhance the data model and the UI with the customer fields in an existing tables? So there are some Z fields which are there in a standard table. What are the high level steps that we need to perform and what sequence we need to perform? We'll just discuss that. So before I go to this step, do we have any specific questions on the workflow? Because I just want to close that chapter.
No, Karthik, currently no. I don't see that.
Okay.
One scenario, just I had a question. For example, if there is any custom field created in the screen and we are supposed to update that custom field, there could be any chance of that kind of scenario in workflow?
That
So while doing the approval process,
uh-huh.
so for example, material description is there, language, for example, country code might be given. So on top of it, any custom field who has done the change, for example, description might be supposed to be changed. Maybe that may not be the real scenario. I'm not getting any scenario, but is there any chance that we have to update some particular field while doing the approval process?
No, not exactly. There is no such specific thing you would require. Now, as you are seeing the example, the one which I discussed, right? The
Yeah.
country-based workflows or the labor-based uses. So these things, the country field is mandatory. If the country field is not given, then your workflow will not work.
Okay.
But by general, by the nature of SAP, the standard workflow templates, that's where SAP do not include any user fields on a workflow template. If you notice, it is just the previous step and previous action.
Oh yeah. That's what my question. Yeah, is there any comment section kind of thing, comment field to be updated while doing the approval? So that kind of scenarios will not come, right? That's what my question.
You mean to say whether it is mandatory or not to do approval?
It is not that way. So it is kind of optional field. For example, if, for example, authorization team is there, he is approving the request, CR. While doing the CR itself, can he update any SAP field? Like for example, custom field you can consider. So he has to update. Yeah, that kind of option could be feasible or not.
But we are doing that, correct?
Before you do any action, you will update the standard fields, right?
No, Karthik, I think so. What he's asking, like in any custom table, like a custom table has been designed and he wants to update that custom table by CR. Correct?
Through
What I understood?
through CR, can we populate data for any custom field while doing the CR approval itself? That's what my question.
Okay. So
Yeah, definitely.
otherwise,
Yeah.
so with the coding level, we can update with the select query. Correct, Karthik? Or like UBB, we have extended another like a down custom as per project specific. Some fields has been created, and with UBB design, that those fields will be get added into the screen, and with the workflow, we can do that. Correct?
See, there are two things. To update a table does not require any workflow integration. Okay, you have a field on a UI, you save it, it will save that in the database.
Yes,
But,
correct.
right? But if the table has to be updated between two steps,
With the approvals, CR approval.
Now, taking this as an example, if your table has to be updated when the workflow is moving from 10th step to 15th step, in between it has to update. Then it's a question about workflow,
Yes, yes, that's what my question. Yeah. For example, there
right?
there might be multiple multiple approvals in between, multiple steps involved. So one guy might be approving, and other guy might be rejecting. So he might be, yeah. So
Got
that
it. So
way,
you want to capture.
yeah.
Okay, so definitely you can do that. That's where you have the BADI implementation of system call, right? This is the BADI you will implement for the same. This is a functionality, as I told you previously also. This is an open space for you to implement any kind of a logic. It can be used for an email, or it can be used for triggering some, IDOCs, or it can be used to update some SLG1 logs or some custom tables.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can go ahead with the next step, Karthik. Thank you.
So this scenario covers the data model requirements, active area, the data model requirements, staging area, SMT mapping, UI modeling, and the search attributes. So what is the scenario? SAP master data governance for material provides the business plans to find, create materials master data for solution. It supports the material master on the central hub distribution. Okay. The scenario says this guide describes how to extend the pre-configured content of MDG for material with the customer's Z fields from the existing backend tables. These attribute values of the new fields will be copied to the corresponding standard ERP tables, or it can be an S/4HANA table after activating the change request. That means,
So Karthik,
example, yeah,
I have one question. So that may be two cases. It may be that field is present in ERP table, but that field is not present in MDG, or that field is both not present in both in MDG and ERP table, right?
correct.
So in this case, which one in that one?
In both the scenarios, the same process. If it is already available in ECC, if it is not available in ECC, you would have only one step at difference
Okay.
in the total execution process. You would
Okay.
understand, the moment will
Okay.
complete.
Can you point out that step? Okay, in that when you explain.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
The business requirement is addition of these fields. This field should be governed, but also available in ERP backend system tables. Therefore, you have to extend the backend Mara and Mara sales entity type. Now, Mara is a table which has around 250 fields, right? In this 250 fields, they have logically grouped the fields related to the functional area. Now, material type, material weight, material group, all these things are material header information. These are part of entity called material. And there are some fields which are part of material sales. These are part of Mara sales entity. But we need to understand both belongs to the same table car Mara. Okay. And the fields which we are adding, it's like a base tape, brand, and some area. These are somehow related to sales fields. So where it should sit in MDG, this field should come into Mara sales, and this field should be enhanced in Mara table in ECC. This would be your step 1 and this would be your step 2. Correct? Any questions on this?
No, Karthi, it's okay.
Okay, so Sandeep, for your question, if the field is available in ECC but not available in MDG, that means you will avoid this step. You don't need to enhance in ECC because it's already available. It is not available in MDG, that's why you will enhance it in MDG. Okay.
Okay, Karthi.
Yeah. So they are doing the table extension first. They are appending a structure with the 3 fields. As this structure is taken, they include the 3 fields into Mara table. And this is an optional step. This is to control the field properties in ECC. For those 3 fields, whether you would like to make, the availability of the fields in the UI application of MM01 or MM02 or MM03, whether you would like to make those fields configurable for optional entry or mandatory or display, this is that configuration.
Karthi, can you give 1 second? I can't understand this step.
So this is something called field groups and field properties concept in ECC.
In ECC, not in specific to MDG, like,
Yeah, not specific to MDG.
okay. So what is the impact on MDG point of view if using this?
So MDG has a functionality that you have a field properties configured in ECC. Accordingly, MDG UI will also get aligned with it. Correct?
Correct.
In materials management, general settings for materials management. there will be somewhere the field properties. Yeah, so this way, here they'll make use of the field groups. There are various field groups available here. Mara labor, Mara sales. They'll select those field groups and accordingly change the properties of a field. So the moment you change the properties here in Mara, sorry, in ECC, automatically the field properties in MDG would be synchronized with it. That is the relevance of this configuration. And this is an optional also, it is not mandatory. And these are the structures where you need to enhance the three fields which you have created. MDG underscore BS underscore mat underscore S underscore. The table name is Mara. Mara UI, Mara X. These are the three structures which you need to enhance with the Z tables. And these are the three structures again which you need to enhance for a primary persistency. And these are the three structures which you need to enhance if you are working on MDG more than 9.0 or from 9.0. So you will go to the structure S underscore Mara and they will include the same structure which we have used in ECC in Mara. The same structure you can use here for the structure enhancement also. Once the step is done, we need to do the data model extension. We'll go to the entity Mara sales, and in Mara sales, we'll go and add those three fields. And then we need to run the program USMD adjust staging. This step is not mandatory. Package for a customer include. This is not mandatory because this you will be doing only for the new entities, but this is not a new entity. This is an existing entity where you have already extended the structures with the Z fields. So your structures are already aligned with the data model. You can verify the generated staging table will have those Z fields. They have those Z fields. And then these are some structures which are generated by which are delivered by SAP. All these structures will have some customer includes, CA include. Where do you see these structures? We'll go to data model, generate data model specific structures, have MM. Okay, here you go. You have all the structures. For material sales, you'll be having Mara sales. It's a combination of the prefix name and the name of the structure which was given here. Prefix name and the name of the structure. ES underscore Mara sales, FP underscore Mara sales, ES underscore Mara sales, FP underscore Mara sales, and PF underscore Mara sales. So in this each structure, you will have a customer include as they're shown here. In this customer include, we need to add the three fields. Once the structures are enhanced, then you need to perform SMT mapping. By now, what all things completed? Data model enhanced, data model enhanced, ERP table enhanced. Now what we need to do? Once we got the fields in the data model, what is the second step? Anyone can guess? You need to add them in a UI, right? Once the fields are available, you need to add that in the UI.
Yes.
But to add a field in UI, MM master, only MM, requires an SMT mapping.
Hmm.
It is only for MM. Other data model does not require SMT mapping. You see there is a mapping called FC.
Okay. So Karthik, just MM means all the material related, correct? Like
All the material related.
Why
The
so?
one I highlight. Sorry?
Is there any logic behind that?
Yeah. So MM implements an SPI model. They don't have GenAI.
Okay.
Okay. MM implements SPI. by doing the structure enhancements, automatically the SPA will also get updated automatically. We are not talking anywhere about SPA here, correct?
Correct.
So by doing the structure, simply implicitly that SPA layer is getting adjusted by default. So the only one thing we need to do is to sync the SPA with MTG. We need to do this SMT mapping. That's the only reason we require a SMT mapping is a mandatory for before we do UI modeling.
Thanks, Karthik. This is very much
Now,
important.
yeah. So this is PP structure and this is two staging. One you will use for what? Two staging means it is from ECC to MDG. Two PP means primary persistence ECC. This is from MDG to ECC. You can see the same thing. SMT to active area, SMT from active area. PP falls under two active area. 2 PP means always 2 ECC. 2 STA means always 2 MDG. So once we do SMT mappings, then there is a concept of UI modeling where they are referring to another guide. And that's where this chapter closes. So let me navigate to UI. Any questions so far? So by this what we have completed? We have just completed SMT mapping, which will also part of SMT mapping related to UI, comma, to ECC and to MDG. We covered these parts. Now this means automatically the replication will take care. Because the fields are extended, automatically the access class will consider the C fields since those are enhanced in SMT mapping. Now let me open UI modeling. This is new entity type. We don't require new entity type. But anyways, I'll open this to cover the enhancement option. They will cover for this UAV modeling again. They'll cover starting from data modeling because this like entire chapter they'll cover. So I just wanted to directly go to UAV modeling session. No data modeling part. You would find the same concept. So for the new entity, we need to create the custom list UAVB. So in this scenario, they need to create a custom list UAVB. Copy the template of list UAVB and adapt the custom list UAVB is what they are saying. And then they are adding it to the standard application using CBA. So far, if you notice, just adding the SMT structures, data model generating the structures, extending the mappings, SMT mappings, source structure and target structure. Then they came to the UAVB part. See, the one which I showed you was a very easy approach, shortcut to directly, go and go to the application component. From there, take one of the UAVB which is part of MDG and take copy of that specific feeder class. It would be easy. Here, these people might be showing you in a different way. So ultimately, the navigation paths might be different, but the objective would be same. Configuration name. This would be important. CL underscore MDG underscore BS underscore mat underscore feed underscore list. How do you know that you have to give this mat underscore feed underscore list? It's simple. We just need to navigate to any material governance such material page.
I think can increase the page size, so it is not.
I'm trying. Yes, sir. I was trying to do that,
Even
but
recording also cannot capture, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm using a new tab. This tab is automatically doing this resolution. This is difficult for me as well.
Okay.
All we need to do is we just need to go to technical help, go to the application, there pick any one feeder class, any one UAVB which is a list UAVB. You will see the same feeder class name there. This is MAT form. I go to configure UAVB. I go to feeder class. Here I will see CL underscore MDG underscore base underscore mat underscore form underscore mat. This is the feeder class. So the same feeder class we'll be using for any form objects. If it is list, we'll go with one list UAVB. CL underscore MDG underscore base underscore mat underscore feeder list. That's where we'll stop. Because main is something which is an extension to a list which is specific to this UAVB. Now, even if you look at a application, they have stopped it till feeder underscore list. If they want, they can create a new class which will extend it to say sales, the new entity. But where we need to stop is for any standard solution, you can identify that is this specific to a UABB or is it common across the application of MM or finance or BP. So looking at this, you can identify till list it is generic across the MM solution. After that, anything which is specific to UABB. So you will copy till list. And you'll add the columns. This will be the same process what we have done. So they have reached to MDG underscore BS underscore mat underscore OOB. So they have come using a package. But how did we go? We also went to the same page. MDG underscore BS underscore mat underscore OVP. We are also in the same component, but our navigation path was using a right click. So to enhance, see, again they reach to the same point. To enhance an application, you just need to go to additional function, say enhance, and you'll give some enhancement name, and rest of the concept again still remains same. You'll say add list to ABB, go to wiring and do the wiring concept, save. That's where your application is done. So there are some buffer programs which are given for MDG material. This is only for material. Clear UI metadata buffers. Because MDG-M is somehow tightly linked with SPA layer, it requires some of the buffers to be deleted. So these are the three buffer programs you'll have in MDG application under MDG IMG master data governance for material. Clear UI metadata buffers. So in the entire scenario, you don't think, there are no deviations. The only thing what new would be a material specific solution requires one additional step called FC, that is field control as a SMT mapping. From there onwards, the rest of the configuration is still same. You can relate with the custom object development. Any questions in this? Any topic, any specific step you need to address more?
This testing data model. So
Sorry?
so once testing your data model extension, yeah,
No,
this
that's
can
nothing.
okay.
This is nothing. Once you are done, you will assign this to a PSAG, right? So you will have a role.
Okay.
This is not a mandatory step. Automatically, the moment you go to your MDG application for Material Master, you will see the enhancement. They are just saying, you give some values and check it.
Okay.
There you are seeing here.
I can see the field. Yeah.
Okay. So now I would also show you how you can, prepare your resume for technical consultant with 3 years experience and technical with 6 years and only functional with 8 years. If you are falling anywhere in between, I think, you change it accordingly with your existing experiences. Let me first take the functional profile. Let's see what they will claim.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Karthik. Currently, I don't know the discrimination factor between functional and technical consultant. What exactly he will do? So, because I clubbed with whole process content, whatever you explained
Mhm.
through our training, but I don't know what are all the responsibilities being taken by function consultant and what are all the
See,
technical.
not only MDG, any primary SAP module you take, what is the primary responsibility of the functional?
Functional will interact with the business. You will understand the configuration steps and what are all the configuration steps to be implemented in the system. You will
Exactly, the same
majorly
part.
depends on the SPRO. Yeah.
Exactly. Here also the same part. So a functional role will be more or less in MDG, it will be an on-site role, okay, who would be interacting with the client, understand the current business process, gather the requirements, and tell them the possibilities of, it can be achieved, cannot be achieved, can be enhanced, a standard solution, or, all these possibilities, and prepare a functional spec, coordinate with the offshore people. The functional consultant, more responsibility lies in the workflow designing and identifying the data model gaps with the ECC relevant tables are the two places where the functions work responsibility in MDG configurations. Now the UI part, UI enhancement, doing a validations and derivations using coding, SMT mapping, the replications, configuration of the replication, everything will lies with an MDG technical consultant. Now, apart from MDG knowledge, a functional consultant is expected more to be under from the business side. He should be able to understand the weightage of each and every attribute. Now, for a technical consultant, a name one field is equivalent to name two field, and name one field is equivalent to search term field, right? Example, you go to the business partner. There is name one and search term. Both are the two fields in BPT code.
Karthik, then in that case, we have to understand all 5 modules which all are there in the MDG, 4 modules plus
Not required.
MDG from.
Not required. See, most of the MDG implementations will go with material and a business partner.
Correct.
Finance is the real implementation where customers will go with the limitations of what FI is having. Flex mode, engine load, additions, all these things, will not actually meet the most of the customer requirements.
Correct.
Okay, there's a very generic, yes, still be used for some of the customers are still, happy with those addition concepts which are meeting their business requirements. And if some customers who are not meeting with the addition concept, they are just ignoring the addition concept. It will be still there in a process, but they'll ignore it. But anyways, um, if you look at the finance perspective, most of the customers will have a predefined governance process to create more cost centers, profit centers. It can be digitally or non-digitalized also. But materials and customers vendors are the main set of master data which will introduce most of the chunk into your production system. You will see many materials which are created but not used.
Mm.
Materials which are available in stock but not, being uh, procured into the business,
Okay.
which will give you wrong estimation. So materials, customers, vendors are the major solutions which are implemented predominantly in the business space. So I would suggest you should have the knowledge in material and the business partner. That should be sufficient enough. So I was referring to, see, search term is a field which is used to identify a set of business patterns. You just, uh, uh, let's say you have Tata Consultancy Services in India. That's a vendor name. And the search term for it would be TCS. It's a short abbreviation so that everyone can remember it. So even the search term is also one of the weighted field because the business users will search with the search terms. That understanding only functional consultant will have. We need to get those knowledge from the business. Being an MDG technical consultant, I don't have any difference between the name one, name two, and search term two. Four fields are same to me. I hope you got the difference, Srinivas.
Yeah. Thanks, Karthik. In the case of asset management means locations and all will come into picture, right?
Enterprise asset management,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plants.
Functional locations, work centers, object networks, equipments.
Yeah.
These objects will come into the scope.
Thank you, Karthik.
Yeah. The person is saying he has strong knowledge on MDG focusing on BP, vendor, customer, and finance domain, some of the GL center elements, and good functional knowledge in SAP FICO SD MMHR because he is coming from a functional background. He is mentioning his area of expertise, and the responsibility he has taken was expertise with definition of functional requirements, process improvement, project scope definitions, configurations, testing, implementation, training, and production support. Okay, let's go to MDG, what he has mentioned. At high level, he has mentioned about integration repository, ALE, IDOCS, FTP servers. He has some knowledge in all these configurations, SICF. So some of the basis related activities also he has some knowledge. And especially from MDG perspective, he worked in various EHPs with various domains. Knowledge on MDG governance API and convenience APIs, data modeling, UV modeling, process modeling, data replication, structures, enhancing the data models, knowledge of Genile, knowledge of customizing the custom US and adaptations, CBS, SOA web services, ALE, ADOCS, replication to various servers, knowledge of floor plan manager, worked on FPM adaptable OOPs, feeder classes, handler classes, and enhancement of data quality using bots. Use addition notification email tasks, business objects, roles, rules, substitutions, program exits, and deadline monitoring is what SAP Workflow is mentioning. SAP Fiori custom workflow. It doesn't matter whether it's a standard work, NWBC workflow, or Fiori workflow, standard workflow. The configuration remains same. That's where his high-level experiences he was mentioning actually. Involved in MDG and SPRO configurations. Design and configure the components like data model, change request type workflows. Worked on BRF plus. Worked on automatic CR creation when forecasting a ready process has been completed and activated. So he made some integration. Worked on validations and checks. Value mapping and PAD implementation for plant and storage. See, everywhere you go, it would be like the same process. Extend the data model. Worked on CVA integration and SMT mapping. Standard fields mapping of MDG data model for material at a UA level configuration to maintain HNS and SAC. I don't know what it is. So you're getting any idea, like going through this resume, how to claim your experience in MDG?
Yeah, we're getting it.
All
Uh,
you need to do is, yeah.
Karthik, one thing that yes, like on that day you showed that IDOC to configure to send between MDG to ECC. So if we are going to with the third party system, if we are connecting and passing the data to MDG, in that way, yes, like web services, if we are going to use, so we are going to configure in the similar way.
Similar way, the other day someone has asked the same thing, right? You'll be having the same DRF configurations, but the outbound implementation name will be different.
No, but it will not be SAP. It will be third party system.
It can be anything. It will be same way. Your server manager has to be configured by your cross-app team. Okay, once it is configured, from MDG point of view, you'll do the same configuration.
No, in that case, like I'll tell you, like I have worked some, like if I'm taking a PI concept, okay. So if PI will consume the web service of the third party system, and with that it will create a data structure to consume the data. Now PI needs to send the data to the third party system. Sorry, PI need to send the data to MDG system. So it will be service part, or it will be IDOC internally that. So that part, how we can able to do? We are going to consume the web service, correct, in that way, or
Okay, you can say this is MDG. To MDG, we can get the data in two ways. One is PI.
yes,
One is directly using SOA. I just take an example of only non-SAP system. Only SOA we can get it.
yes,
Okay.
correct, yes.
Now this is one way. Or the second way, SOA will connect with PI.
Yes,
PA will send the data directly to MDG. It can be
correct.
IDOC.
Or it can be so also internal. It's
It
SAP
can be
internal.
it can be RFC.
Yes.
Right. So you have
Yes.
a direct access for you to consume the server services into MDG.
MDG.
Then you don't need this part.
Okay.
Example, you have from non-SAP system A, okay? You have system B, which is SAP. Okay,
Yes.
and you have System C, which is S4 HANA high level version.
Mhm.
Likewise, you have various systems for you to communicate to MDG system. Now, what you do is you don't integrate with Oracle and SOA for B, you don't go with IDOC, and for C, you don't go with RFC. No. Then you have PI. Your PI will talk with all the systems. You'll
Okay.
get only the data in MDG in one format.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. The usage of the PA is not mandatory until and even with multiple systems also it is not mandatory. But
Mm.
if PA is there, you can exchange the data in one
In
universal
like
format.
correct.
In and
One
out of
universal
MDG in
form.
one universal format.
So from MDG type configuration will be less.
Yeah, it would be
It
less.
will be handled by PA only.
It would be handled by PA. So if already a project has a PA involved, then you can talk with PA. But
Okay.
you cannot say to implement MDG integration, I want PA. Hope you got the difference.
Yes. 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 I got the difference.
Yeah, if PA is here, it's best way to go with PA. If it is not there, we'll directly communicate with the third-party services.
So now in that case, you're telling directly when we are doing in MDG, then we have to follow the same process. Like we have to configure web service in MDG system and start. Correct.
Correct.
Wireless, who can communicate through IDOC also? Who can create one XML port? Who can push the IDOCs to XML port? From there, from XML port, those IDOCs can be consumed, right?
That is, see, then the other non-SAP system, they need to accept your XML tagging. You can put your XML port. What happens is the XML port will generate an XML tags according to your IDOC segment structures.
Yeah.
Then your target system has to accept that structure, and then they need to do the coding as per that XML IDOC XML structure.
Okay. So there is an explicit
That is also
another.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also possible. See, there are so many possibilities that we can do exchange. Sometimes because of the target people don't understand the technology, we have to do compromising. Sometimes the intermediate the PA team that might not have an understanding. When you ask the best practice what to do, again, we'll say as per the SAP recommendation in S4, we'll go with SOA. But if you actually see the real-time implementation, how many people are implementing SOA, it's a big question. And SOA has its own disadvantages compared to ADOCs.
For example, in the place of PA, last question, Karthik,
Yeah.
in that part. For example, bots is there, bots in the place of PA. So will it
I'm
become
saying
in easy?
you can also do the same thing with bots also.
Okay.
But generally, bots is not used for real-time scenarios. It is
Yeah.
used for the migration,
Yeah.
right?
The technology again, yeah, it has to read and yeah, it is offline kind of loading. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not a real time. And the technology of bots is meant for heavy loads, not single request.
It is an ETL tool. Yeah. Thank
Yeah. But if you ask me, can't I do it? You can do it, definitely.
you. Yeah. Thank you.
So let me open one 3 years resume. Assist in the blueprint, part of full end-to-end. Have used the standard data model and possess a good knowledge on data modeling. UA configurations based on the different material types with CBA, validations and derivations, BRF plus, dynamic agents, implemented perfect copy of material, launchpad, custom chip pages and role creations. This is something which we did not even discuss. It's not required to be discussed as well. It is very customized requirement. Configure duplicate check. Made enhancements for the requirement. Data replications with IDOCs. Monitor as per the client requirement. Okay. Almost all the objects are repeated here again. Let me take 6 years.
But I think I've seen pizza report. What is pizza report?
What report? Where did you say?
6th, 7th, here only go. This one. Worked on pizza report. Un 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th.
I'm not sure what it is. Even I'm listening first time.
No, it's fine.
Maybe a requirement or a report, consolidated report. He's calling as a report.
Okay, okay. Karthik, is it possible to share this resume?
I think I shared it, right? No?
No, Karthik.
I'm taking it from the project requirements, the one which you have.
Okay, then let me. I have not gone through the. Then let me check. Then in that. Because I'm not in the front of system, so I'm.
Okay, fine. This says about, EA equipment master related objects. Get email notification, parallel workflow, enhancement of the field values, the custom field, FPM data model, analytical dashboards, process modeling. Okay, so I mean, more or less, most of the objects, remaining objects, whatever you are seeing here, are completely related to ABAP. Since he's a technical consultant, he mixed both of them, and the project is related to ABAP and WebDem Pro, not MDG here. And this is an MDG consultant related to MDG asset management. Here, more or less, the objects would be same: UI enhancement, access class, end-to-end configurations. So all you need to do is you just need to articulate your resume, saying that you have instead of saying I have implemented a custom field in a BRF destination table. Instead of saying that, if you can articulate saying a new field related to sensitive field, or a new field related to a line of business. An LOB has been introduced in a BRF plus single value decision table by implementing a BADI will give a better understanding to the a person who is reviewing your resume, because you are mentioning the requirement also, a part of requirement also in your activity. More or less, your resume looks more genuine.
Yes.
Okay, so prepare a resume and target it for companies where you're not willing to go, whether it can be a contract job or it can be a permanent job, whatever it can be. You just apply in those jobs and you express yourself that you are free, open for for location changes and take the interviews. Definitely, initial 2 or 3 interviews you might get failed. It's okay, but get prepared and finally go for the companies where you're opting for. Then there is a good possibility for you to crack it. Because first 2 3 interviews you're just trying to understand the market, how your
Correct.
interviewer is asking.
Sure, sir.
Yes. Okay. Any specific questions to be addressed?
Hmm. Karthik, specific in the sense, not from my personal side, I need someone to help me for project. I have been assigned to a project, so I want. If you are, I know you are not supporting, but if you have any references, it can be in your team or somebody else is there. So I will take their help.
Uh, I'll get back to you. You mean to say
Yeah,
you'll make commercials to them?
yeah, I will pay commercial to them.
Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll check how it works. Can I
Yes.
exactly understand what is your requirement?
My requirement is first fit gap analysis, project fit gap analysis. I need to understand. They have already implemented ECC. Then they are trying to pull the data migration part they are doing, and then Ethiopia based MDG is solution they're using, and it is for asset management. That's what my understanding. This project is for Aldi Retails, UK company,
Which
ALDI.
part? India?
Germany.
Germany. Okay.
The client is from Germany. Maybe it is an
Hmm.
offshore role. Basically, just moved into a project. Project name is
You are
Aldi.
part of you are part of Utopia or you are part of any other company?
I am part of Accenture.
You are part of Accenture. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, uh, I can definitely recommend you first, but I just wanted to tell you that you will be able to handle it.
Mm,
That's what my point is. Unnecessary, do not depend on a person or I understand,
yeah, I do not. I
from
want
your
to
job side also, you
yeah,
wanted to make a, the clean sheet on your side.
yeah.
I understand that, but I'm saying this is not that complicated is what my, strong feel is.
It is not complicated. Maybe 1 or 2 months support may give boost some confidence. In between, I will cope up because earlier I was working in ABAP and data migration side. So I was
Mm-hmm.
busy in doing my work on regular basis. I was not very much strong in MDG right now. Maybe in a couple of months I will cope up. But meanwhile, to handle the situation, I need some support.
Okay. Fine then. So you
Mm,
just drop a mail to Microsoft team
okay.
saying that you wanted to talk with the friend on the project support.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get any one or two people on this.
Yeah.
And the timing would be
Time would be any time is fine. Those timings are if you consider India time, 10:30 to 7 p.m. in the evening.
okay.
So that is the office timing. After that office timing is fine.
It would be an on-call support, right? Or
It kind of on-call support. So they will
you
give
just
this.
call.
They will give the requirement. Then based on that, we need to advise the feasible options and solution. That's it.
Get the advice, right?
We'll
Not
do
on
the
the
advice
system.
at the initial stage. Yeah, maybe after developing part, they will give some time. That time anyway we can handle it. But in the initial stage, to understand the requirement to give the feed gap analysis, that will really require some experience and expertise. So for that, I need some support. Hope you
Yeah.
understand me.
Yeah. Got it.
Technically, if somebody has assigned work offline, we can do it. We can explore ourselves, Google it, and we can do it based on your training and all. But at the time of facing the client on call, so we should be in a position to give some suggestion based on the given requirement. That is really challenging at this moment for me.
Sure.
Thank you.
We can do it. You just drop a mail to them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Tell me a week advance note.
Okay.
That week I'll try to manage someone.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Fine then. I think let's wind up.
So Karthik, we can directly contact with you in future, or is there any way to, if you want?
See, you drop an email to the management. See, I keep on doing replies to my old participants also via an email, but I respond to the questions which are really complicated or which really require some help. I mean, just to make it
Oh,
simple, if I feel that answer is already available somewhere in SDL, I don't
okay,
answer it
okay.
because I would expect all the initial R&D has been done from the participant and didn't find any answer, then he sent an email.
Oh, okay, correct. Yes. So
Yeah,
how
only
I
then.
can contact through only Aquasoft, or you share your email ID?
No, through Akisoft only. So what they do is they'll divert the questions to me. Okay, the
Okay.
same way you can also follow.
Okay, Karthik.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
Thanks
Karthik.
for your
Thanks for your
questions
time.
as well. It was really cooperative in between where I was traveling for onset and my health was bad.
Thanks, Karthik.
So, thanks, Karthik. Your health. Hope you recovered well and.
Yeah, I recovered completely now.
Really,
Even
Karthik.
Yeah.
Actually,
related to
Karthik,
questions.
that last two, 3 class is very helpful to us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
seriously, Karthik, last
this is what the gap we felt. That is the reason we raised our questions. Don't think otherwise, but this is
No, I
what.
understood.
Yeah,
Karthik,
we should get some.
Karthik, I was working last 2 years from in MDG only, but as a technical, like code fakes, issues, and all that. Now I got the clear concept, and now I'm moving to functional.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So,
Nice
like,
platform for an MDG consultants to move into functional because you'll get more of on-site experience client
no,
faced work.
not in that way. Like I was handling a technical team where only technical part was coming, like BRF is not working, or somewhere workflow issue is there. or the code we need to do the changes in the logic. That part only. We was hardly able to see the screen level, the complete backend support. Now I'm taking a front end role also, where the testing part and complete correction part or client facing also I'm going to handle in MDG. So yes, your class was, now I feel that some comfort zone.
Okay. And I would recommend always, get connected with the blogs which other experts are, writing on behalf of, some issues which they are going through. And the portal which I have shared you, right? The videos, the latest videos,
Correct.
which is coming as a new release in 1909. Get updated with those requirements
Sure.
because that's where you will stand as a different MDG consultant with compared to others.
Sure, Karthik.
Mhm. Okay then. Thank you all. Thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Karthik.
Thank you, Karthik.
Have a great time.
Thank you, Karthik.
All the best. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.